Here's just an overall view of the progress that I've made. Looking at the town of Seaside. Not much has changed since the initial track going down. And we have the town of Smithville. Recently, where the caboose throw is, the track stopped there. I've laid all this rail here. I have the ties ready for some rail. I have ties all down and turnouts done. They need to be sprayed and spiked down. Narrow gauge yard, transfer yard is coming along. That is the Gasko Yard. I temporarily have microengineering dual gauge track here for now. This will eventually be the big trestle bridge when you first walk in. Real large trestle bridge coming out of a tunnel here. Big mountains, almost floor to ceiling. While I'm working, I temporarily took out the valley supports, which is over here. That will support my whole valley, mountain structure, and the base of the trestle bridge. That is placed under this section up to about where the blue tape is, comes out. So the mountains will be fairly high, almost to the ceiling, drop down. Big trestle bridge, probably cascading waterfall coming down behind it, river going down, very green, lush vegetation. This is the Appalachian area, so it's very green, lush. And mountain will go up the side of this hill here, or the backdrop, come down pretty far, almost to this point, about just below knee level, I guess, a foot off the ground. The upper deck, all the basic structures there. I have not done any track work yet. In the back, the track work's pretty much done. I do have to put the track sensors in back there. So this temporary control panel, eventually there'll be a nice knee control panel with the push buttons being run by the mini panel by NCE. I'll have sensors in the track, all the opto sensors going to the panel and showing me where the trains are. Some of them will be current sensing and some will be opto sensing. So I'll have multiple ways of seeing where the trains are and which tracks they're on, and controlling it all from out here. That's coming along. Again, the next thing I'm tackling, Gasko Yard is getting done. I got some ties down. I have all turnouts built. After that, I will connect one last headlight turnout back here. It'll be the straight run will be dual gauge, so it can go back to the dual gauge yard, staging in the back through that hole, come out dual gauge all the way through, all the way around the trestle bridge area and into Gasko Yard, where it splits up into the transfer yards and everything in the station area. That turnout will be the diverging route will be narrow gauge strictly. I have to take a saber saw and split the plywood up so I can start bending this up and getting the grade going up to the switchbacks, which will be behind Gasko Yard. All in this area, switch back, it'll cut back into this area, and then also start gaining altitude, and then switching back again and going through that upper hole in the block, and that will go into the alcove again area all the way across, and it will pop out over yonder through that hole, and then it will go to the upper deck, which will have a mine scene. This will be mine mount up top, right near. Right now it's Yingling mount, and this is a no-name logging branch here up top, the very summit of the rail line. Work its way down to mine mount, loop back around, work its way down all the way through, staging, pop out there, switch back and forth, and then come into Gasko transfer yard where they can transfer the lumber. The lumber will be dropped off in this section. This will be the big sawmill complex. Again, eventually I will have a display case underneath of that. And the coal from mine mount will be transferred in this section here, right where the broken mallet head is. This front track will be the narrow gauge, the back track will be the standard gauge with a transfer trestle in between. This narrow gauge, actually starting about this point, will take a fairly steep ramp up to get to a dumping platform up top where it can transfer into the gondolas and hoppers of the standard gauge to be taken to parts elsewhere in the planet. That's it. Thanks for watching.